Hello everyone and welcome back to Animals with Nianne. Today we'll be talking about the Asian small-clawed otter, which is one of the smallest otter species. But they're definitely not lacking in character. They're super skilled hunters and they love to be social. Unfortunately, they're facing a lot of challenges. In this video we'll talk about what makes them so unique and why it's important to help them. Let's get into it. As the name already hints at, they're from Asia. They live in a lot of different Asian countries and I'm not going to name them all because it's quite a long list. I did find out about that a small group of Asian small-clawed otters that were being kept in England actually escaped from captivity and established a wild population, which is quite funny to me. It's a funny story, but also they're not native there, so it's not good for the ecosystem. However, there has been no sightings of them anymore since 1990, and yeah, they probably think that they were driven out by the recovery of the Eurasian otter in England. I guess that's good that they're not in the wild population anymore. Yeah, but it's a silly story, how could that happen? What happened, guys? What happened? Anyways, Asian small-clawed otters, they usually live in wetlands, in mangroves, tidal pools, high-altitude streams, rice fields, swamps, rivers, just pretty much anything with some sort of water source. And they also don't like to be out in the open where there's no shelter to protect them from predators. The Asian small-clawed otter has a sleek and streamlined body, perfect for their aquatic lifestyle. They're one of the smallest otter species. They have a body length from around 55 to 65 centimeters. And their tail is around 35 to 45 centimeters. They weigh between 2 and 5 kilograms. Their fur is dense and soft, and the fur has 2 layers. These 2 layers help them to stay warm when swimming in the cold waters and help them repel the water, I guess. The outer layer consists of long coarse guard hairs, and these guard hairs are water repellent. Beneath the guard hairs, there's a thick and dense underfur. This layer of fur traps the air, and because the air is being kept close to the animal, it will prevent from heat loss, even when they're swimming in the cold water. The fur is typically dark brown on the back and a lighter color of brown on their bellies, sometimes even a creamy kind of color. Otters often groom themselves, and they'll use their teeth and their paws to comb through their hair. They actually have an oil gland near the base of their tail, and every time they groom themselves they will go through the oil gland to put the oil on the rest of their body. And the oil also helps. The oil is kind of like a waterproof oil, like most oils are, and it will help prevent the otter from being soaked. The otter has a broad and round face with small and expressive eyes, and their eyes are adapted for seeing underwater. The ears are small and round, minimizing water intake. The face is flat with a short, blunt nose, perfect for sniffing out their prey. Now, their most distinctive feature is of course their claws. I mean, it's literally in the name, Asian small-clawed otter. And the claws are small, as the name says, but they're also not fully webbed like most otters have. Yeah, the reason why they're not fully webbed is because these small claws, partially webbed, help them grasp slippery things such as crabs and snails. The otter's limbs are muscular and short, and the tail is long, thick, and tapering, used for balance and swimming. As a matter of fact, when they're swimming, they use their tail to steer. They have sharp, pointed teeth for their diet. Their molars, particularly the last 2 upper teeth, are larger for crushing the skeletons of their prey. The Asian small-clawed otter are specialized for eating hard shells prey. I actually found an interesting study about what exactly they eat. I will just read it out loud. A study in Malaysia analyzed 328 scats and found their diets consisted mainly of crabs, 80.8%, and fish, 77.8%, with smaller amounts of insects, 12.5%, and snails 4%. Mud skippers were a key fish prey, appearing in 48% of the scats. Their diet changes with the seasons based on prey availability, but crabs remain their most consistent food source. It's not really common that you find such a specific research on foods that an animal eats, at least in my opinion. I find it very hard to find like the amount of food that they eat and that they have a percentage of how much they eat. So this was great to find when I was doing my research for this topic about the Asian small-clawed otter, and I saw that research. I was like, yes, thank you. I have to use that. That's amazing. Thanks. Moving on. They primarily forage for food in shallow waters, using their sensitive paws to search for food. They're also known for diving for food, and they often dive to depths of 3 to 4 meters. Although they spend a lot of their time in water, they also eat prey on land. They often bring their prey to a safe, dry location to eat it, especially crabs and shellfish that they need to crack open. Asian small-clawed otters can show signs of sexual maturity around 18 months. In captivity, successful breeding has been recorded by females from around 13 months old and males up to 15 years. Their reproductive cycle lasts around 28 to 30 days, with mating occurring year-round, mostly in water. Courtships involves playful and affectionate behaviors such like nuzzling, grooming, vocalization, and chasing each other in the water. Signs of fertility may include increased rubbing and marking. Gestation period is estimated 60 to 86 days, and litters usually consist of 2 to 7 pups. Pups are born blind and dependent, and their mother provides primary care while the father goes out in search of food. In captivity, they have a lifespan of around 11 years. Unfortunately, I could not find their lifespan in wild, so I don't really know, but I assume a little bit shorter than 11 years, because usually in captivity they'll get all the medicine they'll need when they're sick and get all the food they need, so they don't have that in the wild. So I think their lifespan is a little bit shorter in the wild, but I'm not sure. Like I've said in the introduction, Asian small-clawed otters are very social and they love to be social. They usually live in small family groups or pairs, though they can also form bigger groups when food is abundant. The group is typically made of a breeding pair and their offspring. Otters communicate using vocalizations such as chirping, whistles, and growling. They also use scent marking and body language, such as rubbing their glands against objects or on each other, perhaps even, and engaging in grooming behaviors within the group. The otters are known to be very playful, engaging in activities such as rolling, sliding, and chasing one another in the water. This playful behavior really helps connect them with each other and form even tighter bonds. It's also very important for their development.
Ja, maar als je echt goed maakt van de hekwerk, als ik nu wel van de kijkers, dan moet je echt op los.
They're also very territorial, especially during breeding. They will use scent marking to protect their territory and also to establish boundaries and communication with others. Last but not least, these otters are incredible swimmers and they spend much of their life in the water. They're very agile and can move very easily through the water. According to IUCN, they're assessed as vulnerable since 19 February 2020. Unfortunately, the Asian small-clawed otter is facing significant population decline across its range, especially in China, India, and Southeast Asia. What I think is very sad is that in China, since 2006, there have only been 2 sightings of the Asian small-clawed otter to the present day. That's quite a long time. Since 2006. That's more than 10 years ago, and there have only been 2 sightings. In India, their distribution has also declined. This decline is largely due to the destruction of their natural habitats, such as the wetland forest and the rivers and the swamps and so on. Especially in Indonesia, where habitat is being lost to deforestation and conversion to all plant plantations. Additionally, the draining of peat swamp forest, fish farming, and the expansion of cities along coastal wetlands are all contributing to the loss of their habitat. Another big threat to the Asian small-clawed otter is poaching and pet trade. Poaching remains a major fad, particularly in India and Southeast Asia, where otters are being hunted for their pelts. The illegal pet trade has also grown, with the small-clawed otters being sought after for private collections and as exotic pets. This has led to a significant number of otters being captured from the wild, contributing to the population decline even more. The rise of online trade in otters has made this issue harder to control. Furthermore, the reduction of population due to overexploitation of fish species and pollution, especially from pesticides and heavy metals, is weakening their ecosystem. These contaminants affect the otter's health and disrupt their reproduction. In addition, conflicts with fish farmers and fishermen have also been reported, as otters sometimes compete with them for fish. The otter's range has been shrinking for more than 60 years, moving from west to more to the east, and it's now largely confined to fragmented habitats. The global population is suspected to have declined by more than 30% over the last 3 decades, and without adequate conservation measures, it is unfortunately predicted to decline more than 30% over the next 30 years. But not all hope is lost. There are several organizations to protect the Asian small-clawed otter and its habitat. Some key ones include the Wildlife Protection Society of India. They focus on conserving endangered species in India, including the Asian small-clawed otter, and works to combat poaching and habitat destruction. The second organization, I think a lot of people already know about them, at least they're very global, well known, I guess, and they're worldwide fund for nature. As I kind of said before, they work globally on conservation efforts, including protecting habitats and combating illegal trade. Then we have the Otters Specialist Group, part of the IUCN, and they specifically work to conserve otters around the world, also including the Asian small-clawed otter. And what they do is that they're focused on habitat protection and research. And the fourth organization that I found was Wetlands International South Asia. They work on protecting the wetlands in Asia, which are a crucial habitat for the Asian small-clawed otter. And last but not least, I found Traffic. They focus on monitoring and reducing illegal wildlife trade, including otters being sold as pets or for their pelts. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you realize how important it is to protect these otters. As usual, I'll link down my sources in the description box and also the organizations. If you found it interesting, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more wildlife content. It would help me out a lot, and I would really appreciate it. Yeah, and please let me know in the comments what you think of the Asian small-clawed otter. I would love to hear more about your thoughts and your opinions. And if you have any suggestions for what kind of animal I should talk about next time, you can also let me know in the comments. For now, take care, and I will see you next time.